Is going on, everybody? What is going on? The catch fam. I hope you guys are doing phenomenal tonight. Hope everyone's had a great Saturday. Hope you guys are having a fantastic weekend. Week 15 is here, ladies and gentlemen. I know we've already gotten through Thursday night's action, if we can call it that, between the Niners and the Rams, but the rest of the week 15 slate will be kicking off tomorrow. Fantasy playoffs are here, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, we did not get a great start to our fantasy lineups heading into the weekend. Outside of like Puka Nakua, Isaac Garando's okay, Kittle's okay, but ultimately, we did not get off to a great start going in to the first round of the fantasy playoffs. So, you know exactly what we need to do. Some live fantasy Q&A, anything that you guys need, start sits, roster reviews. I mean, that's basically it. There's a last minute waiver additions. Doubt you guys have not passed your trade deadline, but of course, I'm happy to answer trade questions, dynasty questions, whatever it may be. Get in the live chat. Let me know how you guys are doing. Let's have some fun tonight. Let's talk some fantasy football, ladies and gentlemen. And, let me know what you guys are looking at going into the week. Let me know if you guys have a bye week this week, if you're just relaxing. But get in the live chat. Let me know how everyone's doing. And per usual, let's sit back, have some fun, and talk some fantasy football and dominate this first round of the 2024 fantasy football season. So very quickly here, I'll run through the news. Brees Hall practiced fully yesterday, is still questionable going into tomorrow. So we'll come back to Brees Hall at some point tonight, I'm sure, but I just don't know what to do on this one. It's a great matchup against the Jags, but like I said it earlier in the week in the sneaky starts video, I still think at least Braylon Allen is going to get some touches. If not, Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis, even if Brees Hall plays. So I just hate this situation from a fantasy perspective. Kenneth Walker is doubtful for Sunday Night Football against the Packers. So for me, a doubtful tag very, very rarely turns into an active tag. It does sometimes. We do get that surprise, but I would say you're like 99% in the clear if you're going to roll out Zach Charbonnet. So I'm just going to go in and say I think you're good to roll with Charbonnet going into this matchup. The Packers are kind of right there in the middle. They're 16th against opposing running backs, so I'm still good with this matchup for Charbonnet. I think if you own him, you just roll with him, just like we said last week. Wasn't expecting as big of a game as he had last week, but nonetheless, Sunday Night Football at home for the Seahawks. I'm definitely good with rolling with Charbonnet and the Seahawks. They're one of these teams. They're going to try to be, or they're going to be trying to win every single game, no matter what. I mean, they are currently in the playoffs, atop of that division with 5 losses. The Rams with 6 losses, the Cardinals with 7 losses, and Niners with 8 losses. But yeah, I mean, that puts it into perspective. I mean, they are going to try to do whatever they can to stay atop of that division. So don't have any fear of this Seahawks offense right now from a fantasy perspective. All right, George Pickens is out as expected. Romeo Dobbs is going to play for the Packers. Okay, Bucky Irving. This is another big one. Bucky Irving's questionable. He wants to play. He's going to try and play, but he's still dealing not just with the hip injury. Last week, he went into that matchup with just a hip injury. Then he suffered the back injury. Now he's going in this week with a hip and back injury. So I absolutely hate the Brees Hall situation. I absolutely hate the Bucky Irving situation. But I maybe dislike the Bucky Irving situation even more because he has a bad matchup against the Chargers. Like, at least Brees Hall has a fantastic matchup. Am I going to start Bucky? I think it's really difficult to bench Bucky Irving, but man, I mean, you just got to imagine that Rachaad White's going to get a lot of work here And the Chargers are giving up the 4th fewest fantasy points to running backs, and they've been like top 6-ish against running backs all season long. So this is just a gross situation. Do not feel very confident about that one. Really is going to depend on what other players you have if you're looking to potentially start Breece Hall or Bucky Irving this week. Evan Ingram's going to miss the rest of the season, having season-ending surgery on his torn labrum. So see you later. See you next year, Evan Ingram. And that's basically it. That is basically everything we need to go over, other than Tommy DeVito starting for the Giants. So we'll end on that note. I'm going to try and hop into your guys' questions right away. Thank you guys for being here. Do me a favor, hit the like button if you guys haven't done so already, and let me know how you guys are doing. So Wanderer, I cannot pronounce anything with R's and W's, with the super chat. Need to start 2. Half PPR. Projected similar points to my opponent. We got Kamara, AJ Brown, Rico Dowdle. I feel like I need to get Rico in there against the Panthers defense. I'm starting Hurts too. Yeah, AJ Brown is really up there in those names going into the week of like, I might sit AJ Brown next to like Debo, who's already played, Metcalf, Bucky, Brees. It's a tough decision here. But it is a tough matchup for AJ Brown against Joey Porter Jr. He's had 7 or less targets in 3 straight games. I mean, really, he hasn't had more than 8 targets since week 6 of the season, but he still has had double digits in every game this year, except for 2. One of those games being this past week against the Panthers. So I get that it's really tough owning AJ Brown, but man, I have such a tough time benching AJ Brown. But I do agree, Rico Dowdle versus the Panthers, a must-start player. And yeah, very, very difficult to bench Kamara. I think you try and get Dowdle in here, but like you could make an argument against Kamara as well because he's got Jake Haener at quarterback. And I think this is going to be a tough matchup against the Commanders. And then on top of that, he just came off the injury report, was dealing with an illness. So you can argue it either way here. Like Jake Haener going to need to dump the football off a lot, is going to get Alvin Kamara involved. Or you could argue that the offense is not going to be productive and that's going to hurt Kamara. So it's very tough. I mean, Kamara's the RB8. AJ Brown still has double digits in every game except for 2. And Rico Dowdle has a fantastic matchup this week. So I would try to trust your gut here, but it's just so hard to bench guys like AJ Brown, like Alvin Kamara, because they still are going to give you a safe floor. But if you want to replace one or the other, I think in half PPR, I probably lean Kamara and Rico Dowdle. But like, just do not be surprised if AJ Brown pops off, has a big game. This is still AJ Brown, right? So in half PPR, I'm okay with gravitating towards both the running backs for you, though. All right, let me start from the top of the chat. And let's get going. Ghost Hunter, what's up? Armando Downs or Watson? Christian Watson. I kind of lean Christian Watson, but I mean it's kind of like almost recency biasy because Watson's coming off a nice game, but just not a great matchup for Downs. And in his last game, he only had 5 points. But I guess you could argue, got hurt in that game. So game before that, he had 19 and a half. Tough to say because Downs was on such a good little pace there. I mean, he still is only giving you single digits 3 times on the season, but it's just like, what exactly are we going to get out of Anthony Richardson at quarterback? What exactly are we going to get out of the Broncos defense, who in their last start was not good? But Watson's so boomer bust. I would just say Downs for a floor, Watson for upside, but also keep in mind Downs is coming off of the shoulder injury. And I hope you're doing well, Armando. We got 2 Armandos back to back there. Let's see here. Pollard, Cook, Pacheco need to start 2. I'm probably sitting Pacheco. I'm still not really feeling great about Pacheco. I know he got the bulk of the touches last week and out touched um, Kareem Hunt, but it's just another bad matchup. Like Pacheco's got such a bad playoff schedule, man. I just can't feel good about starting him. Cleveland, Houston, Pittsburgh. I mean, like he's got to score where I feel like James Cook and Pollard can get involved enough that they don't need to score. I mean, I will say it's a bit of a tough matchup for James Cook, and he's coming off of that poor game last week, but you can say the same thing about Pacheco, and at least there's a little bit more upside in theory for James Cook. And I think the other thing to kind of bring up here that I wanted to talk about at the stream is I do want you guys to be aware that there's going to be some bad weather this weekend. So Cowboys at Panthers, 37% chance of rain, not too bad. Chiefs at Browns is expected to be kind of a rainy game, 65% chance of rain in that game, and strong gusty winds. So keep that in mind. And Jets at Jags, 21% chance of rain. That one doesn't bother me too much, and the winds aren't supposed to be too bad. Bengals at Titans, 11% chance of rain. Ravens at Giants, 5% chance of rain. Those shouldn't be too bad. Steelers at Eagles, 14% chance of rain. Not awful. Then Packers at Seahawks, 29% chance of rain. So, I mean, almost all of the outdoor games, except for Colts at Broncos in Colorado, are expected to have some sort of rain this weekend. And outside of that, you got all domed stadiums. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, I mean, really, Colts Broncos has a 1% chance of rain. So we'll see what happens, but that might impact some of your guys' decisions this week as well. With that being said, I will go Pollard, Cook here. Adams, Hill, Myers, Metcalf. I mean, good options here. Right off the bat, I'll go Adams and Hill, but you can obviously make an argument for Jacoby Myers. But Adams is playing very well right now, and he's got a good matchup. So I would stick with Adams and Hill, but Myers definitely startable there. DK is the odd man out. Phantom Task. All my Justin Jefferson owners sit him this week. He's going to get cooked. Hoping the dude I'm up against sees this. Well, he was basically a decoy the last time that the Vikings played against the Bears. So, like, I mean, I don't know if you're too far off here. He had 4.7 fantasy points, 5 targets, 2 catches, 27 receiving yards. That was on the road, so you know, could be a little bit different here, but yeah, he's had 2 single-digit games on the season at Jacksonville, at Chicago. We shall see. Carlos, McConkey, Thielen, or Myers sit one if they all play. That's tough. I think they're all going to have solid weeks. I mean, I think my gut kind of says to sit Thielen here, and it's not like I think Thielen's going to have a good game, but also Diggs is out for the Cowboys. He's been kind of up and down this year, but you can kind of make 2 arguments here. You look at the quarterback play, and it's like, I mean, I know Bryce Young's been playing fine. O'Connell looked good in his last start, but I think you definitely start Ladd McConkey if he plays. And I think the overall production on the season has been with Myers. So I probably lean Ladd McConkey and Jacoby Myers, but I think Thielen's going to have a really good week. Now, if we get word, but it's the last game of the week on Monday, the second Monday Night Football game. If we get word that AOC is not playing, which I'll double check, he's still questionable. No practice, still questionable. Then, and Desmond Ritter's a start, then I would probably just bench Myers. Hopefully, we get an answer. Brown, Charbonnet, or Jacobs. I mean, I'm not benching Jacobs. I'm not benching Jacobs. I'll roll with Jacobs. But they're all good starts. All right, chat's repeating for me. Tua or Murray. I mean, I think Kyler's gonna have a good week. I've talked about this a little bit throughout the week. I really like Kyler this week, but I will roll with Tua. I got a tough time benching Tua Tagovailoa right now. He's been playing absolutely lights out. That Texans secondary is not good, but the Texans are good against the run, so I think Tua could have a big day. But I do really like Kyler this week against the Patriots at home. So, I mean, I think the good news is you don't have a bad start no matter what direction you go here. So, trust your gut. Cardinals or Chargers defense this week. Yeah, I don't really prefer either, if I'm being honest, but the Cardinals, I mean, negative 1 point this past week. Like, I just don't know if I trust them. Like, they were so solid for like a month straight, essentially. And then like this playoff schedule was looking promising. And now I'm just kind of like, I think there are better options. I guess I'll lean the Chargers because Baker's had a little bit of a turnover spell as of late, but meh. I mean, you look at their last 4 starts: 3 points, 0 points, 20 points, 3 points. So I don't really prefer either, to be honest with you. Big D David has Njoku. If he doesn't play, start Andrews, Henry, or Ferguson. For me, it's Andrews, no question. This is I mean, like, really, you only need to roster Njoku and Andrews. You're good. You're good. I mean, Ferguson has a lot of upside due to his matchup, but I'm going Andrews if I got him. What's up, Space Ghost? Need help. One wide receiver and a flex. Allen, Westbrook-Akine, Elijah Moore, Reed, Vele, and McMillan. Remember Jaden Reed. Remember that guy. He's either going to have a huge game or an awful game. I would probably stick with Keenan Allen here and Jaden Reed. These have been the best options overall on the season. So I would probably just plug them in and cross my fingers. Now, I mean, maybe Keenan Allen you could argue against here, but I know he had the down game last week, but in the last month, he's been very productive. And I mean, same thing with Nick Westbrook-Akine, who gets a really good matchup. And I think Elijah Moore is going to probably have a good game, but it's also like that game's supposed to be kind of sloppy and rainy. So if I were you, I know it's scary to put Jaden Reed in, but I think I just go Reed and Allen. If you don't like Reed, I just think the volume's too low to risk Nick Westbrook-Akine. Like, I don't have the balls to do it in the playoffs, but I do love his matchup. He is flexible, and Elijah Moore is certainly flexible as well. So I will go Allen and Reed, but may the fantasy gods watch over your roster. If Vlad can't go, would you go Kraft, Otten, Palmer, Reed, or Warren? Yeah, I once again think there's an argument for Jaden Reed here. And I get it. Like, you don't want to go Jaden Reed. I do not blame you whatsoever. But I think that Josh Palmer is a very good replacement if and only Ladd McConkey can't play, because his Tampa Bay Buccaneers secondary has still been just absolutely awful in the season. So Palmer had a nice double-digit performance this past week. I think he's a perfect kind of plug and play, but if you want the boomer bust upside, either going to bang your head on the table or jump up and down in happiness, and Jaden Reed is that guy. But Palmer's a great replacement if Ladd doesn't play. And I talked about that in the I talked about that in the last minute waiver video that went out this morning. Yeah, if Ladd doesn't play, Quentin Johnston and Josh Palmer are good options. Okay, so we got this one. Lunch table legend, AJ Brown or Wilson? I'm probably going AJ Brown. I think Wilson probably ranks higher on the season, right? And he's coming off of a good game. It's just like something about this game worries me. I mean, like, what are the Jets really playing for? It feels like a trap. It's going to be a little bit rainy. I mean, I do really like Adams this week, so I guess it's unfair to be lower on Garrett Wilson, who for majority of the season I've been higher on. I think you can go Wilson. I mean, you're kind of looking at a close floor and ceiling here, but I think I still lean AJ Brown. I'm not on the the doom and gloom train of AJ Brown this week. I think he's fine. And I honestly, I feel the same way about Garrett Wilson. Like, I think Garrett Wilson's fine, but yeah, we're missing upside with these two right now. So nervous. I started Garanda over JT at RB2 spot. He has Mixon and Bijan. I also have Saquon. Yeah, don't freak out too much. I mean, at least Garando got you like 11 points. Like, it could be much, much worse. Yeah. 11 points is fine. It's not great, but it's fine. You got Saquon. You got Mixon and Bijan. I mean, that's a little worrisome, but guys, do just completely erase, even if you started Cup, like, just completely erase what happened Thursday night from your brain. Just go into your matchup, but not thinking about it. It literally, the best thing you can do, and I know it's really hard, especially in week 15, just don't even look at your matchup until Monday night football begins, because you just never know what's going to happen unless you don't have any players on either the Monday night games, and sure. But just try, like, I don't check any of my fantasy matchups on Sunday at all. It's just, you just don't know what's going to happen until it's over. So try not to stress about it. I'm in the most competitive dynasty league, arguably, in all the Catch Fam community. Okay, I'm playing J Dubs this week. J Dubs, if you're in here, and I had Cup, Jennings, and Purdy, and I'm just gonna not think about it. Okay. All right, Stro tonight. Hi, start all three: Chuba, Charps, Chase Brown, Jacobs, or Hall. I mean, you got good options no matter what, but I'm going Chuba. I'm going Jacobs. And then it's either Chase Brown or Charbonnet. I'm just going to ignore the Breece Hall noise here. You're going to get enough points between who you've got here that, like, if Breece Hall is a good game, so be it if it's on your bench. If he has that risk and that bad game and whatever, he's hurt, he's limited, then it's not your problem, right? You have good enough players. You don't need to consider Hall here. You don't need to take the risk. I think I go Chuba, Chase Brown, Jacobs and Chuba for sure. Chuba's got a great matchup. He's so safe. Jacobs, you cannot bench. Chase Brown and Charbonnet is very close. But oh man, it's close. So Packers are 16th against running backs for Charbs, and for Chase the Snake. Let's see here. Tennessee is 19th. Like, it's not a huge difference. I think I'm going Brown, Chuba, Jacobs, but the good news is he probably aren't going to make a bad start. One wide receiver in a flex: Garrett Wilson, Keenan Allen, Amari, Judy, Najee for Space Ghost. I'm starting Judy out of these guys for sure. And honestly, I'll probably take the safe floor and Najee. I take that back. I'm a little worried about the Steelers' offense this week. I really am. I'm worried about the Steelers having a bad game. The Eagles are third against the run. I'm going Judy. I think if you want an upside play, you go Cooper or Wilson. If you kind of want a floor, you go Allen or Najee. But Judy's in there for sure, even in the rain and all that. Man, there's just variables across the board here. Like, Steelers could have a bad day offensively. No George Pickens. Eagles. Judy's in the rain. Amari is super volatile. Does have a good matchup coming off a good game, but was like doing nothing before last week. Keenan Allen was looking great, then did nothing this past week. Garrett Wilson, where the Jets are just like, who the hell knows? So I think I go Judy and Wilson if I'm you, but you could argue this anyway. That's tough. Chip, Mooney, or Pacheco. Quite frankly, I'll probably just take the upside in Mooney. I'm pretty low on Pacheco. He could have a decent game. He could have a good game. I mean, it's Pacheco, but I just don't know if I feel like I'm there, man. Another tough matchup. He has to score. He feels touchdown dependent right now, so I'll go Mooney, but Mooney has a lot of volatility as well. Jordan Love or famous Jameis? I'll take the upside. I'll go Jameis Winston here. I think Love is fine, but Winston gives you that upside. Tommy, what's up? I faced Purdy and Jennings, catch family number 5. Purdy, Nuka Nakua. Kittle in league number 2. Well, Puka and Kittle had good games, but Purdy probably feels good. Bo Nix or Mayfield, asks Ryan. I'm going to lean Bo Nix. Better matchup. You're worried about the weather for the Browns game. I keep hearing today that wind and rain could be bad. I'm currently playing Winston over Love. I'm a little worried. Yes, it's one of the not as good looking forecasts. Might actually be the worst looking forecast. So I do worry, but it's just hard. You just never really know what you're going to get out of these rain games. Sometimes they have a big impact. Sometimes they have zero impact almost. So I don't want to freak out here, but then like the Seahawks Packers game is also supposed to be a little rainy. So it's tough. Gonna buy in my half PPR league, but I'm playing this week my full PPR league, and unfortunately started Garando and Jennings. Well, Garando was okay. So I need all the points I can get now. Well, and that's the thing. Like, how many times does one of your players just have like 5 or 6 points or a dud game? How many times do you play an opponent and they accidentally started someone who was injured for the week or was on bye week and they still beat you? You know, it's not over till it's over. So try not to stress about it if you had some of these players in the Niners Rams game. But I get it. Trust me. Do you think McConkey plays? I mean, who knows? Your guess is as good as mine. I sure hope he does. Unless your opponent has him. Who wins this matchup? Superflex quarterback. I mean, it's going to be impossible to say. Daniels, Kyler, Garando, Saquon Hill, Sutton, and Joku. He's got Stroud, Goff, Bijan, Mixon, Amon, Addison, McBride. I mean, I like your quarterback's better. Running backs, I'm still going to take his team. Wide receivers are about even. I mean, I'll go McBride over Njoku, but I mean, it's pretty close. Both teams have a good shot. We will see. I hope it's you. Claimed Winston and Elijah Moore in league number 2 off waivers for free. Kind of surprised they're both available. These things happen. Are Pollard and Brees cleared to play? Brees is not official, but Tony Pollard, I believe, is good to go. Now, he's still questionable. But he practiced yesterday. And Brees, I don't have an update on his last practice, but then now the latest report says he's expected to suit up. So no, no one's been cleared to play technically. What's up, Chase? Good to see you. Never had it so good. PPR, 1 running back, 1 wide receiver, and 1 flex. Kamara, Tracy, B-Rob, JSN, Marvin Harrison, Reed, Allen. Lots of names here. I'm starting Brian Robinson Jr. If I own him, I will start JSN and I will flex Kamara if I'm you. I do think Marvin Harrison Jr. will have a good game, though. I'm avoiding Tracy due to matchup. Jaden Reed, you got other options. Allen, volatility. Yeah. Reed or Devonta Smith? Well, probably Devonta Smith. Kobe Brown. We need a running back and a flex. I mean, Allen, if Brees does not play. If Brees plays, then I'll go Pacheco. But, I mean, I think Pollard's going to play. But I don't feel great about Spears. Garrett Wilson, Adunze, or Downs. I would probably just flex Garrett Wilson due to the matchup. Sean is stuck between Rush, Vele, Sincere McCormick, Keon Coleman, or Pat Fryermuth and Superflex. I would go Cooper Rush. I take the quarterback here. He's been playing fine. Yeah, I go Cooper Rush and Superflex. I mean, he still has 14 or more fantasy points in 3 of his last 4 starts. I would just take the quarterback. Carolina's been pretty poor against opposing quarterbacks, um, in terms of fantasy points allowed, so I know they've been a little bit better, but they're still 26 against quarterbacks, so yeah, and super flex, I'm gonna go Cooper Rush. I do like Sincere McCormick, but only as a desperation play this week. If he does truly get the bulk of the carries with Madison back, then the next 2 weeks he's got very good matchups. Johnny, what's going on? Half PPR, DJ Moore, Shakir, Evans, or Stevenson. And half PPR, I'll go Mike Evans and Ramondre Stevenson. Best chance for touchdown upside, I think, in Mike Evans. And then Stevenson, I'll take the running back here. But I think DJ Moore is a good start. And I do like Shakir, but I like Shakir a lot more in full PPR. Bucky, if he plays, or JT, oh, it's just tough, man. It's just tough. Jonathan Taylor is very difficult to evaluate. He gets the Broncos, giving up the 11th fewest points. Bucky's tough to evaluate. He's banged up. And he gets the Chargers, allowing the 4th fewest points. So I think JT, but it's also tough to travel out there to Denver. I always worry about teams that travel to like Denver and San Francisco. Um, I think I lean JT. I am a little worried about Bucky. Like if I got a player like Jonathan Taylor available, I think I'm starting them over Bucky. I still think Bucky's going to be startable. It's just like you got to really look at what you got. But I mean, JT had 17.3 points in his last game, albeit it was against New England and not the Broncos. But I think I go JT. What do you think, bro? Pacheco, Myers, or Metcalf? Myers. Falcon secondary, not good. Now, if we hear in time that Aiden O'Connell's not going to play, then I'd probably go Metcalf. Tracy or Brees Hall. I mean, I don't prefer starting Tracy this week. Don't love this matchup. DeVito's at quarterback. I'm going to stay away from Tracy. So I guess I go. This is like the first circumstance where I feel a little bit better about Brees Hall. I'm worried about Tracy tonight or tomorrow. Sorry. Baker or Kyler? I'll lean Kyler. I think Baker is startable, but I think his upside is capped in this matchup. Start D-Hop or Metcalf. Yeah, they're both kind of like floor options. I guess I'll go D-Hop due to the matchup. But both games there's expected to be some sort of rain. Um, it's not a great matchup for Metcalf. I'll go D-Hop. Laporta, Hawk, or Ertz. I think Laporta is very startable. Where do the Bills come in? Yeah, they're high. They're 4th against tight ends. And Ertz is a tougher, not a tougher matchup, but not a great matchup. Saints are 12th against the position. Then Hawks got the Bears, who are 22nd against position. And the last time he played the Bears, he had a good game, right? So, I mean, when we're looking at tight ends of this caliber, like it's very close, man. And really, like I always say it in this type of comparison, like we're looking at either volume or did they score a touchdown. If they don't get one of those two things, then like they're gonna not outscore the other guys. So you either take the matchup with Hawkinson, the game script with Laporta, or the production that's been the most consistent on the season with Ertz. I mean, there's an argument for all three guys, but I'll say Ertz is the floor. Laporta and Hawkinson have the upside, but yeah, I know it's not really a true answer, but it's just so tough looking at tight ends like in this type of close tier. Need help. I got Chuba, Monty, Char, B-Rob. Need to sit one. Tough. Very tough. They're all great starts. I'm not benching B-Rob against the Saints. I'm not benching Monty. Those are 2 bottom 5 and Chuba. You got 3 bottom 5 run defenses in the Cowboys, Bills, and Saints. I'm starting those 3 guys, and I really like Charbs, but I'm starting those 3 guys. You no matter what, you're not gonna have a bad start. DJ Moore or Thielen? Asks Rick. I'll go Thielen. But I like DJ Moore a lot here too. Both are fun. Very, very close. Cowboys, Commanders, Bengals are available if Cardinals aren't convincing. Commanders. I would personally play the Commanders. They're playing Jake Haener. I do not trust the Bengals defense at all. This came up this week on the defense video. People asking about the Bengals. And I cannot trust this defense. I'm like, have you guys watched football this year? I cannot touch this defense. Okay. I mean, they had a good game against Deshaun Watson. They had a good game against Gardner Minshew. They've had some awful games. They have 3 negative games. And other than those 2 games against Watson and Minshew, they've had single digits every game. They're the defense 29 in fantasy. Don't please. I know they're playing Will Levis. I get it. But Will Levis was bad this past week, but hasn't been that bad outside of that the past couple weeks. So I would rather start the Titans. Or no, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. I was going to say I would rather start the Jaguars defense than the Bengals defense. Full PPR, need one Christian Watson, Devonta Smith, or Hopkins. I mean, Tim, I'd probably play Devonta Smith. I'd rank these guys Smith, Hopkins, Watson. But Smith scored last week, so, I mean, we'll see. Asking for my buddy, McCormick or Reed. He also has JJ and Marvin Harrison Jr. The floor is McCormick. The kind of upside risk might give you 0 points, might give you a very good game is Jaden Reed. It's still Jaden Reed. So just kind of got to try and ignore the previous week. The Hawks are right there in the middle, 15th against wide receivers. Like, I do like McCormick once again, but I just don't love him this week. I think the next 2 weeks will be better. And Madison is back, so we really do want to see, does he actually get all these touches or not? Probably will. Andrea, good to see you. Yeah, exactly. McCormick's the floor. Reed is boom bust for sure. I would personally probably risk Jaden Reed, but I might have an easier time just ignoring the previous week and saying screw it and crossing my fingers. Because I hate to sound like this, but I don't care as much if I like lose. Because I'm in a lot of leagues. So I will take the risk. You know what I mean? I don't want to sound like I don't care if I lose because I do, but I'm just kind of like, all right, let's just take the risk. So, all right, Andrew's got Neighbors, Smith, or QJ and Shakir and PPR. I would definitely start Shakir. And I think I go Devonta. Pittsburgh's still giving up the 7th fewest points to receivers. I think Neighbors is fine. I mean, it is a good matchup. The Ravens have given up the most fantasy points to wide receivers. I might go Neighbors. I just worry about this Giants offense this week. So the last time DeVito played was week 12. Neighbors had 12.4 points. Like, they're going to have to throw the football. It's a tough run defense. They're going to be behind. So I'm going to go Neighbors and Shakir. But if you wanted to go Devonta here, I think you definitely can. Smart, Kincaid, or Schultz. Yeah, dude, honestly, I'll take the chance on Smart. I didn't put any tight ends in the last minute waiver video. And I forgot to put him on the sneaky starts and streams video because I go over tight ends and quarterbacks at the end to stream. But I think Smart is a good option with Will Dissly out because he had like 8 points last week and didn't even play a full game. So I do like Stone Smart as a spot play in a good matchup against Tampa Bay, and I don't trust Kincaid, and it's not a great matchup for him. And yeah, Schultz is like, I mean, yeah, what you might get 6 points, like, yeah. Wait till Monday to check your lineup. Yeah, yeah. I mean, not your initial lineup, but the score, your fantasy score. Like I'm not sitting there Sunday during the games checking all my fantasy scores like after the first quarter and like what's my projection at the end of the third quarter at the 1 o'clock games. Like all my buddies do that. Like, and they're like, oh, I already lost, and like, or like people are like, oh, I lost because I played Debo Samuel and like now I'm gonna lose. And I know like why he's saying that. You have no idea what's gonna happen. Like we see guys bust all the time, left and right. So, I just don't check projections or my matchups. I get matchups is a better word if I did say lineups, but yeah. Yeah, and I used to check sometimes at halftime, but it's just not worth it. It's just not. Sometimes like maybe Sunday night, especially if there's only one Monday game. Like this week, we got 2 Monday night games. So if you have players in both Monday night games, like your opponent has players in Monday night games, like just let it be. Um, Pumpkin, thank you for the kind words. We need to start a running back and a flex. Wilson, Brees, Bucky, Tracy, DK, Braylon, if Brees is out. Man, I'll just say, like, I don't think there's a big in between for Bucky Irving. I think Bucky comes out and has a good, solid game, or he's still banged up, limited, does not play well against his Chargers run defense, and we see plenty of Rashad White. Slash, he gets re-injured, you know? So I'm gonna leave Bucky up to you guys, but I think he's very startable still if he plays. He's not confirmed yet. Um, man, part of me says just go Wilson and DK and see what happens, but I think Braylon Allen or Brees is very startable here. But yeah, I mean, well, you need a running back. So I lean Bucky still, but if you want to go with whatever Jets running back plays, they have the matchup against the Jags. And then I would probably just go Garrett Wilson. But trusting the Jets this strongly in week 15, it's tough. But man, they have the matchup, and you guys know that's what I look for. Flex Bucky, Lad, Neighbors, Tracy, or McCormick. Lad McConkey, if he plays, if he doesn't, I go Malik Neighbors. Full PPR, Mahomes or Goff. I mean, both. I think both are in a pretty good spot this week, and you just never know what you're going to get out of Goff. But I'll take the game script for Jared Goff, and that'll be a better weather game. I'm going to go Goff. I just feel like he's safer, but Mahomes is okay, right? Choose 2 and 1 flex: Judy, Flowers, Higgins, Shakir, and Myers. I'm gonna go Jared Judy. Oh man, this is close. I could see any of these guys outscoring each other. I have a tough time benching Judy right now. Let's see, he's moved up to like the wide receiver 4. I mean, like that's it's a player, and like the Chiefs. He's the wide receiver 9. I'm sorry. Last week he moved up to 4, and he's moved back. He didn't score 40 points. He did score almost 20 though. Yeah, Kansas City's secondary has not been as good as of late, but of course that game might be a little rainy. Man, I do like. I started off the week really liking Zay Flowers, but then I'm kind of like, this could be one of those games where the Ravens just play defense and run the football. Like, say if Zay gets one early, I won't be surprised. Like there's an argument for each and every one of these guys. I think I go Judy, Shakir, and Flowers. But you could really go with just about any combo here. I think I could see any of these guys outperforming any other one of these guys. DJ Moore or Neighbors. I think they're both kind of in a close spot here where like the matchups there, they have good floors. I mean, they're playing two of the worst or most allowing secondaries when it comes to fantasy points scored for wide receivers in the Vikings and the Ravens. So I'll take DJ Moore because the quarterback play should be better, but I think Neighbor is going to have a good week. Very close. Ertz or Andrews. I'm going to go Andrews, but I still really like Ertz. Can I start Kenny McIntosh? No. Please, no. Um, over Swift. So if Swift is out, Kenny McIntosh would be playing Sunday night. The Packers Seahawks game is Sunday night, and I'm not trusting Kenny McIntosh in week 15, but I will say by Sunday night, you might have an answer to if Swift is playing or not. Kamara, Wilson, Judy, JJ. Start JJ, start Judy, start Kamara. I know the last time the Bears played the Vikings, Judy did not have a good game, but I'm not sitting JJ. Or I said Judy. JJ did not have a good game. I am not sitting JJ though. That one's yeah. I would just go with the three most productive guys, but Wilson's probably gonna have a good week. JT or Devonta Smith. I probably lean JT, but this could really go either way. I know it sounds kind of stupid, but I'm a little worried about Devonta Smith because like he did score last week. Like, and this passing attack has such low volume that I'm almost afraid he got involved last week and now this week he won't be involved. Like I know it sounds stupid, but 99% of the time I'm usually like, you guys know me. I love me some Devonta Smith. But JT's also traveling to Denver, tough matchup. So like neither has a good matchup. I think I go JT, but it's very close. All right, play Cup and Jennings on Thursday. Who's the better flex, Thielen or Wilson? I mean, Wilson does have the better matchup, but I think I'm going Adam Thielen. Better tight end play, Fergie or Otten? Once again, Ferguson has the matchup. Hurts or Caleb? I'm starting Hurts. I know, I get it. Pittsburgh's defense scares you. I get it. I'm not benching Hurts. I'm not. Maybe he had like Jaden Daniels. I mean, I doubt you'd have a guy like Josh Allen and Hurts, but like I'd have to have somebody that I feel is close, like Joe Burrow. Like it had to be very close in caliber. Caleb, not enough for me. So I'll go Thielen, Ferguson, because you need that upside. He gets the Panthers, and Hurts. Nick Westbrook-Akine or Reed? I'll go Reed. I think you can make the argument for either player here, but I'm going to go Jaden Reed. McCormick or Sean Tucker if Bucky is out? McCormick, because he's not going to be competing as much for touches. I guess he will be to degree with Madison, but I'll take that over Rachaad White, the GOAT. We buy homes near you. What's going on, man? We need a flex. White, Hall, or Pollard? Once again, I'm leaving Breece Hall up to you guys. I'm not making the calls on Breece Hall. Startable if he plays, but I think we're going to get touches to Allen and or Isaiah Davis still. And I think it could just be a mess. So I lean Rachaad White out of these three. Need the upside play going against Henry and B-Rob. Oops. Yeah, White plays later in the day. I think I go White personally. In a 12-team league, let me take that back. If Bucky Irving plays then I go Pollard. I'm kind of out on the Brees. Like I'm trying to avoid the Brees Hall situation if I can. So if Bucky plays, maybe you don't go White. A 14-team league without Pickens, who should I flex? McMillan or Mims? Patrick, Austin, Palmer. Well, if I'm you in a 14-man league, I'm trying to add Josh Palmer. Because if Ladd McConkey doesn't play, my personal favorite out of this bunch is Josh Palmer against the Bucks secondary. But if Ladd plays, then I don't want to touch that. So oh gosh, you're taking a dart throw with any of these other guys. Ooh. I'm not going Calvin Austin. Marvin Mims is just like he has to have that big play. McMillan has had he had the one good game. Patrick has had the one good game. I guess I'll argue Tim Patrick because the game script overall should be the best and the highest scoring, but I don't feel good here, man. If Ladd doesn't play, I do like Josh Palmer, though, but only if he doesn't play. Baker, Stroud, A-Rod. I know Baker's matchup's not good, but I'll just go Baker. London or A.J. Brown? London for the floor, A.J. Brown for kind of the boomer bust play. All right, let me go back to the quarterback spot here, though. Because, Rodgers is startable. I mean, the Jags are giving up the 31st most fantasy points to quarterbacks, but he had 17 points this past week. It's not awful. And then Stroud, I mean, it's a tough matchup. The Dolphins are giving up the third fewest points. I just don't trust Stroud. But I don't want to sneeze at this matchup for Baker. 9th fewest points by the Chargers. I think I still go Baker, but there's an argument here for the other two at least. Need a flex Ridley, Myers, BTJ, or Sincere McCormick. I think I go Ridley against the Bengals. But man, I mean, I like BTJ still. I like Myers as long as O'Connell plays. I mean, it's between those three for me. But they're all kind of in a similar tier for me. I mean, we got Mac Jones, Aiden O'Connell, Will Levis throwing the football. And pretty good matches for everyone except for BTJ. I think I go Ridley. I think I take the risk against the Bengals. Got to replace Swift and Walker. Got Vidal and Miller. I mean, good luck to you, brother. I would maybe take a chance on Kendre Miller. I think I'd rather start Miller than Vidal, but I don't like either. I'm sure you don't either. Run CMC. We need upside. A-Chain, Gibbs. Start A-Chain and Gibbs. A.J. Brown, Evans, D-Hop, Moore. Start A.J. Brown and Evans. Start Andrews. I saw your comment, and I think the Ravens versus Commanders is a really tough choice here. I see a very similar amount of upside for, but I mean, I love both starts. So I would just ask yourself, who do you have the least amount of confidence in? Jake Haener and the Saints or Tommy DeVito and the Giants? In both games, the Ravens are on the road, the Commanders are on the road. But you have a good start there either way. So you need one running back or wide receiver, a flex, and tight end. So I would start A-Chain, flex Gibbs, start A.J. Brown and Evans. And I'll start Andrews. I got a tough time benching Andrews. But the Giants have been good against tight ends. You want to go Hawk, he does have the better matchup. But if I got Andrews, I'm taking my chances. Ravens, Commanders, very, very good starts either way. Who do you like less? DeVito or Haener? Njoku or Stone Smart? I mean, Njoku, if he plays. If he doesn't play, then Stone Smart's a nice stream. Otten or Hawkinson? I think we got this earlier, but probably Hawkinson, just due to the matchup. You're welcome, Christian. No problem, my dude. Jared Goff or Mahomes. Yeah, I got this one earlier, right, from somebody else. I'll go Goff. But it's very close. Weather's going to be bad for Mahomes. Goff's indoors. It's a good game script. So DK or Judy? I'll go with Judy. I mean, Judy's been the better wide receiver as of now. So I'll go Judy. Cooper Rush or A Rich? I mean, I think you have the floor with Cooper Rush. You got all the risk in the world with A Rich, but I think I'll go Cooper Rush. The Panthers have been pretty bad against quarterbacks. Full PPR, Bucky or Kamara. What do you think? I'm starting Kamara as of now due to Bucky being questionable. Yeah, like if I can avoid starting a player like Bucky or Brees Hall this week and go with like a bona fide guy like Kamara. Like I know Kamara's got Hayner, quarterback, this and that, but I would just start Kamara if I'm you. You know, it's going to be easier to stomach Bucky being limited or not even playing or getting knocked out of the game on your bench, as opposed to even if he goes off being on your bench, it's like, well, if he has one of the other situations, you feel a lot better. And like he's still got Kamara, like he's safe. RB8 on the season. I still go Kamara here. Kraft or Hunter Henry? I'd say Kraft for like a floor. Hunter Henry for the, or excuse me, I'm sorry. Hunter Henry for a floor. Kraft for like the upside. Pretty touchdown dependent. But Kraft has been pretty dang good as of late. Seahawks are 19th against tight ends. I think Arizona's good. They're 6th against tight ends. Tevin Joku and Smart as well. Yeah, you got to wait and see here. I'll double check for you right now, but I don't think we have any yeah, same update as yesterday. And Joku hopes to play, which is better. Like it went from he's not going to play to he wants to try and play. So Andrea, Washington, Arizona. I'm going to go Washington. Will I find out if Bucky plays tomorrow before 12 p.m.? I'd hate to sit Pollard and Brees if I find out later in the day that Bucky starts. It's possible, but it's very difficult to say. Very difficult to say. Definitely possible, though. But if you're really worried about it, just start Pollard and Brees now, or Pollard or Brees, I should say. But also, once again, like Brees hasn't been fully cleared. So maybe I would leave Pollard in for now and then kind of wait and try and see what happens. Andrea needs Flowers, London, Adams, and half PPR. I'll go Adams, Flowers, and London would be my rank in half PPR. Trying to look for that touchdown upside. Mooney or Hall this week? Yeah. If you get word that Hall plays, I think I would start him over Mooney. I mean, I know Mooney had a good game this past week, but it was a great matchup. I just don't know. I don't know what we're going to get out of this passing attack for the Falcons. But if you have to go Mooney, I think it's okay. Paul, Vikings or Commanders? I'm going to take the upside in the Commanders. They're one of my favorite plays this week. But if you want the floor, I mean, the Vikings certainly give you a floor, but I'd rather start the Commanders. They have that turnover upside in general. So I'll go with the Commanders. All right, guys, we reached the bottom of the chat. So let me know what you guys need. I'll stick around for a couple minutes here and see what happens. And if not, we'll have a video dropping late tonight, first thing in the morning, depends on what time you wake up. And as always, we have plenty of content out there for you guys as well on the week. So you guys can go back and watch some of the videos. see if they help you as well. And then we'll just roll right into week 16's videos as well. Waiver wire video, then must start defenses, then start sits at wide receivers, running backs, quarterbacks, tight ends, then the must start video, Pete's kickers rankings, sneaky starts and streams, last minute waivers, and then as always, the Sunday morning things you need to know video. Eagles or Cardinals defense? I'm going Eagles. I'm out on the Cardinals defense. I just don't love them right now. They are worrying me, and I just don't know if they're going to live up to this initial playoff hype they had. I'm going to go Eagles. No George Pickens. Give me the Eagles. Andrea, have a great night. Run CMC, have a great night. Appreciate you guys so much. Andre Uzavis over Tim Patrick. No, I'd rather start Tim Patrick. I mean, of course, don't want to start either of these guys, but I'd rather start Tim Patrick. I mean, I guess Uzavis has 8.1 or more points in 2 straight games, 12.5 in week 13. He did the touchdown. Yeah. I'd rather take the chance on Tim Patrick, but obviously you're playing with fire either way here. All right, guys, I guess that does it for the night. I mean, we're at the bottom of the chat. So if you guys need anything, check out one of the videos, drop a comment, all that good stuff. And we'll have a video, like I said, first thing in the morning or late tonight, however you look at it. What's up, Cinnabon? Good to catch you here at the end. Yeah, what's up and good night. But yeah, sorry guys, I was sick all week. I know I'm really behind on comments, and I'm going to try and get through a lot of comments tonight and tomorrow as well before the games start. But sorry for being sick again. I've been sick feels like all season long, off and on. So that was definitely a bummer to start the week. So my energy was super low in the videos this week, but I did my best. Still got something out for you guys every day. So appreciate you guys. It's been an incredible season. We got basically just 2 weeks left, which is crazy. So we're still going to be doing some stuff for week 18. We're still going to be doing some stuff through the regular season playoffs. We're going to be doing plenty throughout the off season. So don't worry, guys. And for those of you guys who play Dynasty, we're going to have plenty of content throughout the off season. But yeah, I can't believe how quickly the season is wrapping up. So still a lot to get through over the next 2 weeks, but season is wrapping up, man. So thank you guys for an incredible season, and we'll just continue to try and push through the fantasy playoffs for you guys. So and it's almost Christmas. Let's go. All right, guys. So thank you guys for hanging out tonight. Thank you guys for all the fantasy questions, allowing me to try and help you guys. And good luck tomorrow. I'm hoping each and everybody absolutely destroys the first round of the fantasy playoffs. So it's been a weird season. Hopefully it's not too weird of a week 15. So thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for all the fantasy questions, and be sure to watch the video that will be dropping first thing in the morning later tonight. So that'll do it for tonight's stream. And looks like we got one last question. Start one for the wide receiver 2 and for the flex spot, BTJ, Shakir, Reed, Westbrook Akini, or Braylon Allen. I'll start BTJ and Shakir. Maybe go Allen over BTJ if Hall doesn't play, but I'm going to go Shakir and BTJ as the guys that I want to start here. So good question, Barbara. All right, guys, with that, I'll say thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And remember, you saw it here on the catch. And Barbara, I go Jordan Love over Russell Wilson. And